Hey, what's up, Po Nutrition team? Hope you're having a great day so far. Yesterday, we kind of ventured into a new topic as we continue with this theme of synergy, of the ideal team player, of someone who is humble, hungry, and smart. And I said we're going to talk about this topic of humility for a few days. And I asked for some thoughts from all of you. And I've heard back from some of you already. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Tate Lindsay, the new TikTok champion, the reigning TikTok champion, sent me a nice note and said his dad has always modeled humility for him. He says dad has accomplished so much in his life, but his dad never feels the need to tell anybody about that. And actually, is more comfortable talking about his failures or his weaknesses. And that is such a great example of humility. Also, Brian Heikes shared a video, and I think Brian's got some great thoughts in this video. So I'm going to cut to Brian's video now, and then afterwards, I'm going to share a couple thoughts that I have on what Brian had to say. Okay, thanks. Here you go, Brian.
Hey, Greg. Great topic on humbleness. I think that's something a lot of people are going to relate to. Such a great book, Ideal Team Player. I think a lot of people can relate to those traits as we bring people on. Of course, we look for humble, hungry, and smart, and it's something that we look for. But I think one thing that I want to talk about a little bit today is how linked listening and being humble are. And you think about some of the highly effective traits of a great leader, and listening is one of them, and we've identified being humble as one of them too. But one of the things I think a lot of people have heard is seek first to understand, then to be understood. Let's see if I can get that right. But I think that really goes a long way. You look at where we're at now, we can learn so much from each other. And I think if people take a step back and take similar traits to being humble and listen and really understand other people's point of views, that can definitely go a long ways to obtaining your goals. But also, one of the things I think about a lot with humbleness is how we act when no one else is watching. Would you act differently? Would it be different if you're walking down the street and you saw a piece of trash laying there? And if you're with your friends, would you pick it up? And if you weren't with your friends, would you let it lay? You know, it shouldn't matter. I don't think it should. I think you should act in the same way, in the same manner, no matter who you're with or what you're doing. It just really speaks to character. But you asked a little bit about an example of who you believe displays humbleness. And for me, that person was my dad. And for those of you that don't know, he passed on about 10 years ago. And like many, we really didn't come from much. We had to work for everything that we had, again, like many of us. But one of the things I always remember on him or reflect on him is he's the type of guy that if that doesn't expect a favor to be returned. If you went out and mowed somebody's grass or snow blowed somebody's yard or whatever, it's not like he was counting down the days on when he would get repaid or when that favor would come back. And I often think about that going forward. Am I doing the same things that he did, and what are my expectations for others? And I think that really speaks to humbleness as well. So, well, I guess that's really all I had on humbleness. I'm sure you'll get a lot of replies. It's such a great topic, and look forward to hearing more. All right. Bye.
Wow, thanks, Brian, for sharing those thoughts with us. Some great points you made, and I got a lot out of that. But probably the thing that I took away from Brian's message the most is that true, authentic humility can only come from our heart. It has to come from within. As Brian made the point, if you're doing things because there's people watching, that's one thing. But if you're still doing acts of humility, even when no one's watching, even when there's maybe never a thank you or any repayment, and you don't care, that's what humility or true, authentic humility is, because it can be faked. We call it false humility, right? But true humility can only come from right here. So, Brian, thanks so much for sharing that. Hope you all have a great rest of the day. We'll be in touch. Bye now.